Ah, what an age we live in now. How strange, how marvelous, to see the world full of technology that no one of my time could have ever dreamed. But I must tell you, though many centuries have passed since I walked the earth, the journey of discovery, of understanding this vast, mysterious universe, is eternal. My name, as you've probably already gathered, is Isaac Newton. I was born in 1642 in a small village called Woolsthorpe in England. A humble beginning for a man who would come to change the world, don't you think? A bit ironic, if I may say so myself. My parents, well, they had their own stories. My father, also Isaac Newton, was a farmer, though he passed away 3 months before I was born. A tragic start, really. My mother, Hannah Asko, was left to raise me alone, but she remarried when I was just 3 years old. That's when I was sent to live with my grandmother, a separation that marked much of my early life. I had 2 half-siblings, both born to my mother and her second husband, Barnabas Smith. I didn't grow up with them. My relationship with them was, well, distant. So in many ways, I was a solitary child, spending a great deal of time alone, reflecting on the world around me. And it was in that solitude where my mind began to wander into the realms of science and mathematics. But I digress. Let me get to the heart of it. My curiosity led me to the idea of forces that govern everything from the fall of an apple to the very motions of the stars in the heavens. That moment, when an apple fell from a tree and made me ponder why it fell straight down, was the spark that set everything in motion. Yes, that apple. You've probably heard the story, but it wasn't just an apple falling that caught my attention. It was the question that came with it. Why did it fall straight down? Why didn't it move sideways or upward? It made me think about the forces that governed everything in this world, from the falling apple to the motions of the planets themselves. At the time, the idea that forces existed beyond what we could see was, well, considered rather outlandish. But my curiosity led me to the realization of something profound: the force of gravity. That invisible, yet undeniably powerful pull that not only makes apples fall, but keeps the planets in their orbits, the moon around the Earth, and the Earth around the sun. Today, you live in a world where my theories are everywhere. They shape your lives in ways I couldn't have imagined back in my day. When you launch a satellite into space, or when a spacecraft lands on Mars, well, that's my gravity and the laws of motion at work. If it weren't for my work in understanding motion and gravitation, your modern world would be vastly different. Heck, maybe you wouldn't even be able to drive a car or fly in an airplane. You see, my discovery wasn't just for the academics. No, it was a key to unlocking the universe. A key that's been passed down through generations of thinkers, scientists, and innovators. It's helped you build a world where technology advances at an unimaginable pace. But my journey didn't start with gravity alone. No, it was a much wider vision. In my book, Philosophia Naturalis Principia Mathematica, I laid out the foundation of what we now call classical mechanics. 3 simple laws, 3 simple principles that govern the motion of everything. From the fall of that apple to the mechanics of a car driving on the road, or the way a rocket breaks free from Earth's gravitational grip. They are universal laws. Still, they hold true to this very day. To the scientists of today, my work might seem simple, even elementary, compared to the quantum mechanics and relativity you now study. But don't be fooled. Even though these more modern ideas have expanded our understanding of the universe, my laws still apply in many of your day-to-day experiences. Without them, you wouldn't have the foundation to explore the more complex realms of science. I often hear of space travel, artificial intelligence, and the vast, endless frontiers of science that you now venture into. And I wonder what new questions you might have. What mysteries await you beyond the stars that even I couldn't fathom? But perhaps, just perhaps, my work will continue to be the bedrock upon which you'll build your future. So go ahead, keep asking, keep discovering, because this universe, my friends, is far from finished revealing its secrets.